What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Cookie Run Kingdom video. All right, everyone. Today I'm super excited. Now, I kind of want to call this a beginner's guide, but to be honest with you guys, like making a beginner's guide in this game is really easy because the tutorial literally carries you through the entire game. These little circles on the right-hand side here, if you click them, it literally tells you what to do, what to harvest, when to harvest it, and like literally carries you through the entire game tutorial-wise. Tells you what to build, when to build it. So for this video here, I kind of want to go over more tips and tricks because you guys know I'm an epic fail and I fail at everything I do. So I kind of want to go over them with you guys and give you guys these tips, on what you should be building, because I feel like that will be more helpful to you guys than me actually trying to go through an actual beginner's guide with you. Because again, the game does such a good job at doing that. So before we get into this one, I just want to let you guys know we have an $80 exclusive cookie giveaway going on, and I will link that video right over here. All you have to do is click that link. It'll bring you to the video, and that video will explain to you how to join the cookie giveaway. So thank you guys so much for the support, and let's get right into this one here. And the first thing I want to talk about, I'm not really going to talk about the Tree of Wishes too much in this video, because I did make a video just on the Tree of Wishes and what you should be doing to actually farm this. So I am going to link that video down below so I don't have to get into it too much here. The one thing I'm going to tell you guys quickly and fast is make sure you go for the ones that have the highest gold. Don't do the ones like this that have 100, unless it's 2 wood. Wood is different. But if it's like 3 sugars or even something like this here on the left-hand side, like a bread, wood, and jelly for 3,000 gold, it is not worth it. Don't do it. You will literally be wasting your resources. Make sure you go for the good ones like the one on the right. 1,500 gold, 155 kingdom points, and it's only 1 saw and 1 jam. Those are the ones you want to go for. Don't waste your resources on doing the other ones. Just refresh it like this, and then wait for a new one and see what you get. That's what the Tree of Wishes is all about. And I will link the video down below of me going over this in depth. Now, the next thing here is actually harvesting. Now, when you guys are actually sitting here and you're playing the game, some of the best advice I can give you for like the jellies and the sugars. Now, when you upgrade these buildings, all it does is give you more jellies for a longer time. So for instance, when you upgrade this jelly farm, for 12 minutes, you get 9 jellies. And then for 2.5 hours, I think you get like 18 jellies or something like that. But when you're actually sitting here playing the game and you're not going to walk away from it, you are better off doing the 1-minute ones, going into a battle or maybe 2 battles, coming back and then collecting it. Same thing with your sugar. Because if you're doing the longer ones, you're actually not going to get as many if you're sitting in front of the game and actually collecting them every 1 minute. So you go into a battle, you come back, you collect them. And that's actually going to give you more jellies overall, and it will actually help you to like stock up on something if you're like short on sugar or jelly. Sitting here and collecting it fast will actually stock you up on it. I honestly didn't realize that right away. It took me a minute to get that. And then if you're going to walk away from the game, obviously it's better to do the longer ones because you're not going to be at the game anyways. So then if you do the longer ones, when you come back, you'll have more overall because you weren't sitting in front of the game collecting it every minute or 2 minutes, whatever the time is. And that goes for all of these buildings, like the sugar one, basically the ingredient ones, and then the other ones, it all depends on what you need. So like if you need saws, obviously you're going to do the saws. If you need a tempered axe pick, you're going to do that. But again, you need wood to make it, you need sugar to make it, and that goes for everything that you are creating in this kingdom here. So same thing with like your flowers. If you want to make flowers, you obviously need the flower cup and you need the raspberries. So again, if you go to the raspberry building, it's the same thing as a sugar building. As you upgrade the building, it gets longer time, so 4 hours and 5 hours. But again, if you're sitting here, better do the shorter times because you can collect them as soon as they're done. And I know my town is a mess right now, and that's just because I have it for convenience, not so much for niceness. Because everything close like this, it just makes it easy for me to collect it. Same thing with my experience factories over here. And again, in that gold video, I also went over experience, so that is linked down below. As far as these buildings go, it's better to keep them close together so you can literally just go through them and collect them really fast. Because until you really start upgrading these buildings, the XPs actually generate really fast. So you want to make sure you're on top of this whenever you're playing the game. And if they're close together, it makes it really easy for you to collect them. The next thing I want to touch on here is the fountain. Again, this is your main income for resources. So you do want to upgrade this as fast as possible, but you don't want to make the mistake that I made and kind of rush your kingdom. Because in doing that, and when I did that, what happens is all your buildings get left behind. So I am so far behind right now on my buildings because like I need to level them all up. And it actually wants me to do my castle again, but I don't want to do my castle because my buildings aren't up. They're not maxed out. And in a building game like this, the best thing you could do is max your buildings out before you actually upgrade your castle. And that's actually going to bring you, a lot further faster, and it's going to progress you a lot faster. So it's better for you to actually, hold back, get all of your buildings maxed so you can't bring them up anymore, and then go to your castle and upgrade that. Just make sure your fountain is maxed to your castle. Now, as far as this train goes over here, you want to keep this filled at all times. Send it out every 3 hours, whatever it is, because it gives you really good resources. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. It gives you gems, gives you gold, just a bunch of building resources. So this is really good. Make sure your train is always out. And that brings me right into the balloon. The balloon is the exact same thing. Again, balloon gives you XP. So the one thing I can tell you about the balloon is when you do this, make sure you're using cookies that aren't maxed, because if the cookies are maxed, they won't collect the XP. And this also gives you gold and other resources as well. So you want to make sure that this balloon dock is always out, just like the train. That is very important. The only difference here is you want the cookies not to be maxed, because if they're maxed, you will not get the XP. So you're kind of wasting the aspect of the balloon dock. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your kingdom level. And just remember, guys, your kingdom level ties into your cookie level. Once you get to level 20, it actually goes 2 levels over. So if you're kingdom level 20, you can go to cookie level 22. But until you get to level 20, your cookies are actually paired with your kingdom level. And then once you hit 20, it goes up 2. So you can only bring your cookies as far as your kingdom level. Now, I know I'm only building epics here, and that's just because I was really lucky. I'm going to do a video on premiums and rares really soon in the future. Right now, there's no legendaries. I know in the future they plan on adding like some type of LD or legendary cookie, but for right now, there's only epics, rares, and premiums, and I'm going to make a video on that really soon. I just like to do my due diligence before I actually make these videos. Now, getting into actual cookies here, as far as the runes go, there's no slots like in other games. These are called toppings. The way these work is they're all the same. Once you unlock the slots as you upgrade your cookie, like you see here on the left, once you get your cookie to level 30, you will have a maxed rune set. This game does not go by slots, and again, there's no legendary runes, there's only heroic. So the best advice I can give you as far as toppings go is try to use the rare ones, because the premium ones, they only go up to level 6. Rares go up to 9, and heroics go up to 12. There's no legendaries yet. I don't know if they're ever going to add them, but they're not in here right now. So toppings are pretty self-explanatory. If you have a damage dealer, you want to kind of go with attack, crit rate, attack speed. There's no crit damage in this game from what I can see. So like when you look at the effects here, you don't see any crit damage. You see crit rate, crit resist, cooldown, debuff resistance, attack speed, defense, amplify buff, damage resistance, but there's no crit damage, so just keep that in mind. So using crit rate is actually not a bad thing, because you don't have to worry about the crit damage side of things. I believe it's based off of attack. So for me personally, on my damage dealers, I like to go attack, crit rate, maybe attack speed or cooldown. And then on my like tanks, I like to go HP, defense, attack speed, damage resistance, something like that. And for your healers, just keep in mind the healers in this game are actually based off of attack. So when you have something like Herb Cookie, I like to have them on triple attack for now, and then I'll probably add one more attack, and then maybe like some type of HP or defense, or maybe HP and defense and 3 attacks, because this heal is based off attack. So attack is really important on your healing cookies. And now down here, I do see we have a set effect. So as you upgrade, I'm sure you can put actual sets on these cookies, but this is more of a beginner's guide because I'm only like a week into the game myself, and I don't get to grind it that much. And if you see here on the top where the stats are, you got HP, attack, defense, and crit rate. No crit damage again. So one more thing about the cookies before we go here and go on to something else. Just remember, when you upgrade your cookies, you want to upgrade their skills at the same time. So let's say you bring Herb Cookie to level 22. Make sure you're bringing the skill up to level 22 as well. Now, the skills do take resources, so you will have to farm these resources. But it is important to keep the skill level up with your actual level. It will help the cookie in doing a lot more damage or heals, whatever it is. So the skills are very important in this game. So you really want to take advantage of it and get it leveled up with your actual cookie. So for me, whenever I level up a cookie, I focus on leveling up their skill. Now, the next thing I want to touch on here is treasures. These treasures are really, really good, and they're really, really important. Now, the thing with these treasures is it depends on what you're doing. So if you're doing campaign, you want to use something like attack, the crit damage one. And for me, I like to use this one right now, which is boost the party's total damage. So for me, this is like a set for me. So you got attack, crit rate, and then boost damage. So now let's say I was farming gold. I would go with this one here. So chance to receive coins plus 31%. And then you kind of make a set out of it. And then for your defense, obviously you want to use the defense one. You don't have to. Again, you can go more damage. It's up to you. But then here you have the cooldown one. So you can really just make a set out of these. Just know that you can switch them for whatever content you're doing. So if you're doing like just farming content, you want to use the gold ones. If you're doing just, offense or just damage content, you want to use the damage ones, and you just want to kind of make a set out of them. You know, really take advantage of them for what content you're farming or doing, whatever it is. Just take advantage of these because these really come in handy. Then we have bonds here down at the bottom. And this is for when you complete your actual cookie sets. So like, let's say I get, you know, chemist cookie and I get vampire cookie and I start leveling them up. I'm going to get extra stats here. So me too cookies promote, you know, to 1 star. We're going to get 250 HP, 30 attack, and so forth and so forth. And that goes for all the cookies in the game. So take notice of that and try to take advantage of it as you build your cookies. It will come in handy. Now, the next thing here I want to talk about is storage. Storage is really expensive. I brought mine up to 63. It was really expensive to do this, and it only gets more expensive. Let me show you. So yeah, now we need 30 saws, and believe it or not, 30 saws is not easy to come by. I've been like crafting saws for the past 2 days, and I still don't have 30. Granted, I don't sit in front of the game and do it 24/7, but the storage does get really expensive. So if you can like kind of prevent having to upgrade it and just kind of use what's in your storage, it will actually be better for you than dumping all of your resources into upgrading the actual size of the storage. That is up to you ultimately, but just know it gets really expensive and you're probably better off just using your resources or using what's in your storage to make more room for other stuff to come into your storage. Now, next thing I want to touch on here is events. Events are very self-explanatory. Do them. There's great events in Cookie Run Kingdom. There's so many of them and they're so rewardful. So do them, focus on them. Trust me, it'll give you so many gems, so much resources in general. Check these every day, do them, finish them. Not much to say about the events, great events. And I absolutely love them in this game because they did a really good job. It reminds me of Kingdom of Heroes where they just have a ton of events all the time. And that's really good for us free-to-play players. Granted, I did spend $5, but that was on the Kingdom Pass. And this Kingdom Pass is good value, so if you are going to spend any money, I would recommend going with the Kingdom Pass. Next thing I want to talk about here is achievements. Achievements are really easy. As you go, you'll see the exclamation point as you do the achievements. Now, if you want gems faster, look at the achievement. So, fail to upgrade a topping 50 times. You can go in there, try to upgrade your toppings, and then you can collect the gems. That goes for all these achievements. They're very easy. Just take notice of them. When you see the exclamation point, go in there, collect your gems. You know, maybe see what you have to do to get the gems. That's up to you, depending on how bad you need gems. As far as building and decorations go, again, the game will kind of walk you through this. If you want something special or you're spending money, then obviously you can go in here and buy whatever you want. But I would recommend, if you're free to play, just stick to the tutorial and it'll tell you what to buy, when to buy it, as far as decorations go and all of that good stuff. Not much you really need to do there. If you're clearing your kingdom, just remember you can take a cookie. I don't have any things on my kingdom right now, but you can kind of take the cookie, put them over like the rock or the tree, whatever it is, and it'll actually make him clear it all for you. Don't need a builder to clear stuff in this game. If you want to see what your cookies are actually doing, you could put them in like factories, whatever it is. You can check here and see what they're doing. So you got one walking around, you got one in the biscuit planter, you got one in the candy flour. So this will kind of tell you where your cookies are. So if you want to give them a job, you can. Now, as far as the arena goes, there is a current arena meta. I'm not going to get into this too much here because this doesn't really fit into the early game thing. As far as it goes, just do your attacks as much as you can. Don't really worry about pushing it, but definitely use all your tickets. Don't be like me and save up 80 of them. Do it. Gives you gems. When you start leveling up to like gold and platinum, it gives you even more rewards. So better to do this, every day. Just get your cards in and don't let it sit like I do. You don't have to like focus on it, but it is good to get some battles in. Bounties, do these every single day. This is important. This is where you get your skill ups from, like to level up your skills. So make sure, even if you don't need those particular skills, still do it. You only get 5 attempts a day. The rest cost gems. And as far as your campaign goes, obviously you're going to do as much of this as you can. You're going to get held back at some times, and when you do get held back, the best recommendation I can give you is go back to your kingdom, keep building, keep producing, keep leveling up your cookies, keep leveling up their skills, doing that for a day or two or whatever it is. Go back and try to get yourself unstuck. Now, I have learned myself, if you manual these battles, you'll go a lot further. Auto will only take you so far in this game, so once you get to like probably 5-ish or the middle of 5, you will have to start manualing if your cookies aren't like maxed out. So if you're not like hardcore farming and you're a lower level like me, your cookie's going to be stuck at a lower level, so you're not going to be able to just blow through this campaign. But if you manual, it will actually take you a lot further and you'll be able to get a lot further in the campaign, but that is up to you. That is a personal decision. And as you do this campaign, once again, you will get a ton of gems. This game is really free-to-play friendly in the beginning. It gives you a ton of gems between the events and just clearing content in general. It gives you so much stuff back. So the more content you clear, the more resources you will get. So I think we touched on everything that I want to touch on as far as like tips and tricks beginner-wise goes. I don't necessarily want to call this a beginner's guide because the game truly does walk you through it. Like, they give you the best beginner's guide that anybody can actually give you just by them walking you through the game. But I hope this kind of makes things easier on you guys when you are actually like farming the inside of the game. Remember guys, we have an exclusive cookie giveaway going on. I linked the video in the beginning. I'm also going to link it down below. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway, if you want to be a part of the YouTube random giveaway that we have going on, all you have to do is sub to the channel, like and comment on my past 10 videos. That is a $50 reward. And that is one of the biggest prizes we give away on this channel. We're so close to 2.5k subs. Once we reach it, we will do another sub celebration giveaway. And if you want to follow me on Twitch and Discord, that is linked down below. We have 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, and we do random giveaways on Twitch. I love you guys, and I love giving back to you guys. So that is my way of doing it. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.